Hey everyone, my name is Pawan and I welcome you all towards my channel. So guys, today by the end of this video you'll get to learn about 4 important type of tricky and tough questions which they ask for any kind of interviews. Okay, now why do I want to say this? Because yesterday I was part of a beautiful panel in a government office. I won't be able to disclose all the details or credentials, but I was part of the government, one of the panels, and we had to select students, the best out of the best students for this program. Okay, for one of the programs. So we had 3 panels, panel 1, panel 2, panel 3. So in each panel we used to have 4 kind of judges or 4 kind of interviewers. We asked questions and then students constant used to come and then rounding used to be there. So we had 3 slots, that was like around 11:30 to 1 slot, 2 to 4:30 second slot, and 4 to 6:30 the third slot. So students can come in any of the times, any of their allotted times, and then they can take up their interview. So I had to keep on shifting out my rounds. Okay, it's like, for example, first 5 students if I'm taking in the panel 1, I'm supposed to go next 5 to the panel 2 or next 5 to the panel 3. We used to constantly take rounds because we had a couple of interviewers, so we had to keep up taking up these rounds. So our senior officials who ask this interview, you have to literally understand, okay, the way these people are asking questions. Some people, when the questions was asked, they were literally shivering out. They were completely sweating out. Some person, like other person, he was just taking up this towel and he was completely wiping his body because that much sweat was there. I'll tell you what are the tough and tricky questions our senior interviewers, okay, which they ask these questions, okay. First is that they are a constitution book, okay, constitution book. And then one is in, this is in Bangalore, okay. So one is, an official language in Karnataka is Kannada, right? Right? State language is Kannada. And obviously English also spoken by majority of us. So now we kept constitution book, okay. Constitution book we gave to the student and we asked, okay, you're a law student, right? Tell me about, read about any particular article and explain to us. That fellow is like really shivering. Okay. So this is the first kind of question they asked in the interview. They gave this constitution book. Constitution book is like so bulky, and then he went through. He didn't get anything. I didn't understand anything. He was literally shivering. Okay, so sad of that guy. And then we are just checking how much confident is he. That is the main thing. He just went through. He didn't understand anything. He closed the book. Yes, I understood. He said some 2 to 3 lines. The interview was like he showed that rudeness. Okay, it's like I asked him specific about the articles, not about the summary of this book, and he's literally started shivering again. Okay, this is the first kind of questions. Now, for the person, we give 2 kinds of constitution book. For some people, we give only Kannada constitution book. Okay, so when we give in Kannada, that the student will be like, "Sir, I do not know Kannada. Can you please give me English book?" So they're like, "You are born brought up in Karnataka and you do not know Kannada language. Why are you coming even for the interview?" When they ask this question, students will again they'll be breaking down. So this is the first set of questions they gave from the constitution book, and why they're giving is this because even during the tough situation, how well effective reactive you are. That means that how efficient you become even in the tough situations in your life, and how much capable you are for this particular kind of post, or how much capable enough are you showing up much initiative for this particular kind of course or this program. How much can you be productive? That is basically tested over here. Now, second type of question which they asked is about, see, when we entered, couple of images will be pasted in the wall. Couple of images. Around 15 images will be there. So the interviews, you can senior most, and little more serious we ask, name out all the people's name over here, all the freedom fighters' name, okay. So some students are like, you have learned somewhere in the history book, I'm not getting anything in my knowledge. They'll say first to fire, okay. Then the interviews will fire them back. See, you are very good at history, your history marks is good, and can't even name the history people, the famous freedom fighters of our country, again they will literally show you. So that situation, I want you to understand very carefully. They observe your observance skills. That means that whenever you're learning something, learn with practical life experiments, learn with practical life observance, that's such you can learn a lot. Okay, now the third type of questions which they asked, interviewers asked was that, tell me about India's biggest strength and India's biggest weakness. So actually the answers were pretty simple, okay. So for example, some people said that youth is the biggest strength and weakness was it could be in terms of population or it could be in terms of different aspects. But still, some interviews like 3 to 4 people start saying the same thing itself, okay. And then we said, okay, fine, tell me this answer except youth, population, and so on and so forth things they said, okay. So some students again little started shivering out. So very important understanding over here is that whenever you learn something, classify it into its strength and demerits and learn from that perspective. For example, any topic you're learning, have an open lens and understand from 2 perspectives. Only then learn it. Only then you'll get a proper clarity of ideas. Now, fourth important aspect is called as whenever in an interview they're asking about, tell me what are the major problems in Bangalore, tell me what are the major problems of your city, tell me, for example, you are the IAS officer for this particular city, now tell me what immediate actions will you be taking. It's very easy, for us to tell garbage problem is there, stagnant of water is there, or water stagnation is there, electrical wire cable wire problems are there. So these are the normal problems which everyone says. But at that point of time, if you're able to tell us solutions, that really will impact. See, if you just normally tell a solution, there is not going to be much impact. See, in solutions, I can also read a book and tell, right? What is the difference between me and you? They can select me, right, instead of you. But whenever you're telling a solution, if you're able to tell a solution such a way you have done something, for example, garbage dumpage issue, and you must have done something to clear that particular thing, right? For example, I along with my family members we cleared up this garbage dumpage issue, or under Swachh Bharat mission, we a group of students, we came together, we cleaned out this particular city, these kind of things. So whenever you give your own solution with your own personal experience, that you get extra additional marks. So these are the 4 type of tough and tricky questions that they ask for the interview. But moreover, it was also observed that when in an interview, when the students are being little more polite, humble, and little ground to earth, for them much chance are given and much priority is given. So I hope now we got a proper clarity on what and all are the type of questions which they ask for the interview. Hope you got a clarity about it. So guys, this is actually the part 4 video of this interview series. So I just thought that okay, I have to mention about these few important crux aspects. So if you have not watched the part 1, part 2 and part 3, how you need to prepare for the interview, I'll just drop all the details in the below description box in the link. It's in the playlist video itself. You'll get much more clarity. So let's catch up for the next video. Until then, goodbye. Thank you so much. Wish you all the best.